Hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over Kenshi, a beginner and intermediate's guides to the character. As somebody who's had a lot of time put into the character over these past betas, stress tests, and now release, I would like to show you how to properly play the character from an experienced player's point of view. First off, there are 3 different stances you have to learn as Kenshi. There's the base stance. He gets access to these special moves, as well as different buttons and alternate ways of doing said buttons. And there is Sento stance Kenshi. He gets access to his puppet that he controls with the right bumper. And then finally, without Sento stance, he gets access to different normals that can confirm into different attacks, as well as different combo launchers. Being able to play all 3 of these effectively are going to be strictly necessary if you want to be good at Kenshi. To begin with, we're going to go over Kenshi's round start stance. We're going to be calling this the balanced variation. He gets access to very important poke tools like this. These are mainly what you're going to be using in neutral and even up close against people. And the main convert is simply going to be a forward 2-2 into push, or a back 2 into Rising Karma into push. Really anything he has, Rising Karma into push. It's very easy, it's very simple. You'll be able to get it down with just a little bit of practice. And before you get too far in, I want to point out your controls should look like this. Now we're going to be going over your assist choice. That is going to be the main thing you use to match what playstyle you're going to be playing. In my opinion, there are 3 main ways to play Kenshi with the way the game is currently. There is a more zoning variety of them, which you would use somebody like Mataro or Kano for. But you can also go with a more anti-zoning based one, which you'd use Sub-Zero or Frost for examples. Or you can go a character like Cyrax here, that is more based around trying to get the pressure started as soon as possible. So picking your assist choice and what you want to do is going to be an important step for how to continue with Kenshi in the future. Essentially, the reason why you would want to use Cyrax over some other option, it allows you to get this started. And this is Kenshi's main pressure tool in the game. He is very strong with it, and it has a lot of variation for it. There is no opportunity for the opponent to press during this. Their only options are to flawless block until the spirit runs out, or for them to armor. And during that you do OSs, which is option selections, so basically you're able to block the armor, as well as hit them for doing it during that sequence, if you perform it correctly, depending. So, to explain how to do it, it'll be very simple. Forward 2-2, into assist call, and then Sento stance cancel. So, forward 2-2, assist call, right? Then forward 2-2, assist call, cancel. Then you do spirit 2-2 while holding forward. You hold forward during this. And during the first part, you block, because if you don't block, you're going to get an attack at first, and then they can press. So you do 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, and all this while holding forward. It's very simple. There is more advanced ways to pressure, but it gets very complicated. So we're going to stick with your basis. You will need to be able to do this if you want to play Kenshi. No matter what variation you pick, no matter what cameo you pick, you will need to understand how to do that. Now we've switched over to Frost. What Frost is good with is countering zoning. If you attempt to throw a projectile against Frost, she will be able to stuff it, and you'll be able to get your full screen confirmed. For example, we're going to see Frost counter a projectile. She eats the projectile, and you get a combo for it. Very helpful for counter zoning. Now, the other reasons you might use Frost is being able to combo on hit into Sento. So, traditionally speaking, there is no way to make this combo. Kenshi has no way to do his normals into Sento. It just doesn't work. So, a way that you can go around that is by calling Frost, summoning Sento, and then going into your combo. Great damage! A completely great damage combo. So I'm going to show you how to do this combo step by step. It's a combo that a lot of people struggle with, and it can be overwhelming for a new player to try and tackle it. Kenshi is, by a wide margin, the hardest character to play in the game, and we're going to try to make it easier to do this, okay? So you start with forward 2-2 with Frost. Very simple. Practice this as much as you need it. It's a very simple thing. Now, a very important thing to do after this, though, is getting Sento out as soon as you can. As soon as Frost hits, you have to get Sento out. It has to be very, very quick. Otherwise, you won't have time to a lot of converts. Now, after you freeze them, and you call Sento, you want to hold forward so that Sento walks forward. It'll look like this. He steps forward like that. Because if he doesn't step forward, it actually will not combo. So you call him after the forward 2-2. You have him walk forward, and then you walk forward. It's also important to hold block while you're moving Sento. Otherwise, you will get a button, and it'll look like this. And you won't be able to combo after that, so the combo is ruined at that point. So you yourself want to hold block briefly, and then walk forward to try and convert. So, forward 2-2, Frost, hold forward, then forward 2-2-1, and then 3. It's a bit of a mental gymnastic, but forward 2-2, Sento call, 2-2, 2-2-1, 3, and then you can convert from there forth. But you take it slow, you practice one step at a time, and you will get there. And this is the main convert for Frost, and a lot of the time this is just going to be your convert even if you don't have Frost. So, Kano is used for more so applying your zoning pressure, as opposed to Frost, which is going to be used to stop people from zoning you. So, a lot of what Kano is going to be is throwing out the overhead spring from all the way over here, and throwing out knives to cover people from jumping. You can also do Kano Ball to help guarantee chip damage from full screen, and to stop people from jumping yet again. This is a very strong option if you want to be the type of player that wants to keep people away. It is not necessarily his strongest variation. Mataro can do a very similar thing, but it is very strong for guaranteeing a health lead and making people come to you, which Kenshi does excel at stopping people going towards him. So, for Kano, the main allure is going to be the zoning and the neutral pressure, but he also is able to do other things. While Cyrax guarantees being able to call Sento on block, Kano still has value in it. If they choose to block that, you can call Sento there. If they choose to block it all, you'll get Sento out and it'll be for free. But as opposed to Cyrax, they can actually armor through that, and they'll be able to get out of it every time if they do that. So Kano has some utility, and certainly works if your opponent doesn't have armor, much better than Cyrax, but generally, Kano is going to be used to keep them far away while you just apply pressure full screen. This is usually good in matchups where you get outzoned heavily, but they also beat you in neutral. So characters like Shang, for example, does not really care about Frost, but he does hate fighting Kano. So there are good examples of when to use which one, and also what playstyle you might be using, and whatever the opponent might be running as their assist. It all depends. It'll heavily depend. But that's how you play each main variation / cameo that's in the game for Kenshi. And then the last thing we're going to be going over is Kenshi Sento stance without Spirit. You're going to be sometimes caught in situations where you're forced to use Sento stance and there's no safe time to go back out of it. So you're going to have to be able to get good at using it. The main combo is anything into Rising Karma. Anything at all into Rising Karma. Like that. And then a Rising Karma at the end. It's very simple. It's easy. You can get it off of all of his buttons. It converts off of everything, including this jab string, whatever it may be. And he always gets the ender. Now, what you do after that is up to you. One of the best options after this is resummoning Sento stance and being able to pressure them after you've already knocked them down. That is one of the most useful things you can do with your meter after. And it will result in a lot of situations where you essentially win the game right there because you have Sento in their face on knockdown, right? So, as it goes for the intermediate to beginner guide, I believe this is everything you need to know about Kenshi. For now, I'm going to leave it here, but I do plan to release a advanced guide for Kenshi in the near future to cover all of the very, very advanced techniques you can do with the character, the aspect of holding down assist to make it so Sento doesn't do anything, which impact your combos and pressure, and being able to do everything around the sort, right? So hopefully this has been a helpful guide for you, and I hope it also clears up some confusion you may have around the character. Thank you for watching the video, and have a fantastic day.